We are back at it again here with another video at the Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, continuing to test key resistance levels. And in today's volatility, our SPY bot at 9:35 a.m. sent out a bull indicator. And from that moment forward, inflows crossed the midpoint to the upside, bull strength on 42 vision, and call options went up 150% plus within an hour, guys. And if you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors that are all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts, whether stocks are going up or going down. So we're going to break down the key levels I would watch on the SPY for the next trading day. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was presented this morning based off of our flow distribution indicator. So the home run today was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on and receive this clarity and edge over the charts, check out the link down below in the description. You can gain access to it as well and receive the clarity and edge that you deserve. So the home run today was based off of the flow distribution indicator. And we're breaking this down so you guys can learn more about it. This is a little bit different from the usual home runs, but it gave a PL of 260 on the opportunity it presented, and it lasted from 10:33 a.m. to 11:16 a.m., almost 45 minutes. And it was a price of 42 at the entry, and the exit was 68 cents. So 10:33 on the chart was right here near the 549.30 level, and we had a support we were watching, and everything below that as well was crucial. But the first thing that gave us perspective is inflows were turning positive on the flow distribution indicator, on the 3-minute, and on the 5-minute. Things were starting to change as well, right? And you could see it there between 10:30 and 10:35, positive flows, and in the whole process, it hit all the resistance we were watching, but 550 was a crucial level to not ignore as it hit it earlier in the day, right? You could see how crucial it was. Many people were probably watching it, and it did break through it. And once it did, it accelerated, and that's the opportunity that was presented here on the home run of the day. But in this volatility, when things slowed down here, these outflows were minuscule compared to the inflows that had came in and the inflows that were coming. They easily got canceled once these inflows started to pick up again. And once it broke through 550, that's where I was starting to watch to exit. And it turned out on the 3-minute, you could see it here, that 11:15, 11:18 mark right here is where I made the decision as it was pushing up towards 550, 550.20. And that's where things played out to end up with a PL of 260. You can gain access to this edge and clarity as well. We're going to break down more about the flow distribution indicator in the charts and break down the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump into these charts. Here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, doing a full transition from the dip area to multiple rip areas in the last 2 days. And if this is your first time coming across the channel, this is 42 vision, which allows us to see the dips from the rips to the dips, and where the strength and weakness lies within the charts. And we also use our bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow as an extra layer of confirmation, which I'm going to pull up here and you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index. The SPY stock back under a bull indicator here since yesterday. We broke this down, how a full transition happened. It came up to test key resistance levels, and it was going to be crucial for it to break out from here and for inflows to even further justify it, right? And this bear indicator from 548 has been canceled, and it isn't the only stock back under a bull indicator. You have the QQQ here since 479. You have Tesla here since 205, and you have Apple here since back on Monday at the 211 mark. So lots of bull indicators here on multiple time frames and multiple stocks. And the SPY here on the 1 hour in the bigger picture was looking pretty strong as well, right? Canceling out that bear indicator from 547.50, and now a bull indicator has popped up since yesterday at 543, a crucial support based off the history of the chart. That's another thing we were watching, and if it found support and held strong, it could start to push up higher. That's what happened yesterday, and the strength continued into today, right? If it could hold, it would then be 550, the resistance I was watching, and then above that came 552, and it didn't miss it by too much, right? It hit 551.85 at some of the highest points here towards the end of the day. And we're also going to look at the inflow versus outflows in just a moment. It's our flow distribution indicator, but it shows us how positive and negative flows are. It's an enhanced version of the inflow versus outflow, and I'm going to pull that up. And that's what I showed on the home run of the day, and you guys can gain access to it early on by joining now. For when we release it later this month, you get connected right away. Because this indicator of our flow distribution, it's going to add a perspective you may have never seen before or may have never even noticed, because divergences are going to look clearer than ever. That's how I was able to make that decision on the home run of the day, right? As soon as they went from negative to positive flows, that's when I made my decision, and I was able to stay through it because the negative flows never were more than the positive. And that's what we're going to pull up in just a moment, and you're going to see it. So on the 15-minute here, on the volatility, a bull indicator popped up shortly after the open at 548.78, and it lasted strong all day. Lots of strength here, and for this to continue, inflows will need to justify it, right? Which we're going to pull up here, and we're going to break down the key levels I would watch going into the next trading day. Here we are with the SPY stock, the S&P 500 index, with inflows, right? Going positive since the open, guys. You could see it here on the SPY on the 30-minute plus 219,000, and quickly it got negated, and things were kind of flat there in the first hour at that negative 230,000. And it doesn't really seem like much here on the 30-minute bar, but if we zoom in on the 5-minute, you could see that big drop when it went all the way up to 550 and back down to 548. There was a lot of volatility and chop there in the first 30 minutes to the first hour, and that's what you're seeing there on the 30-minute of outflows. But quickly, that was canceled, and if you do the math, right, of plus 219 minus 230, there's a difference there of only 11,000. All it needed was 11,000 positive, right, because it was negative at that moment, to go ahead and push up. But if the negative continued even more, it may have even brought it downwards, but that wasn't the case. Quickly after, positive flows all the way till the end of the day. Now, there is something here to not ignore, that some negative flows began here into the close. That doesn't mean that the chart's going to collapse, but it is something to keep in mind. Yesterday, it was plus 800,000 into the close. Today, it's negative 400,000. But still, lots of positive here just between these two bars. These two negate each other. So I would be watching closely this area as a support if we come down towards it. And if we keep pulling away from it, this is going to get canceled by inflows that continue going into tomorrow. So that's something to not ignore in the pre-market and tomorrow's opening day. But on the 30-minute, we could definitely see the trend here and strength. And on the 1 hour, those inflows were positive for most of the day, right? Going into the open and the middle of the day together, you put that together, that's 370, and these two are 230. So positive inflows at the end of the day. Now, when we go into the volatility of the 15-minute, we could see here the chop, but inflows dominated most of the day, and into the close, it's showing here again negative 368,000. This is something to not ignore. This whole level here between where things slowed down and brought themselves up, I would be watching 550.60 down to 549.80. Just a tight range there to go ahead and keep in mind. But let's talk about the key levels I would watch going into the next trading day. So if outflows start to dominate, the first support I'll be watching is 550. Then below that comes the 549.50 area to the 548.50 area. Those are the supports to the downside. To the upside, if this staircase effect can continue and these inflows continue to dominate, the first resistance is 551.80, where things slow down. And then above that, I'll be watching in that tight range 552. If both get broken through, then the next resistance is 554 to the 555 area. So these are the key levels I'll be watching to the upside and to the downside. The bull and bear indicators are going to be crucial, and the inflow versus outflows, they're going to be worth watching. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.